Oh, jeez, oh man. Oh, good afternoon. Welcome to Dave's Dugout. I'm Dave Schimpf. This is my podcast. It's all about softball and nothing but softball. I've got a sign if you never saw it. It's your first video here called Dave's Dugout, neon sign, but it's not lit up because it makes it a little bit too bright. Okay? So just wanted to let you know I've also got a mug here called it's Dave's Dugout on it. In fact, Dallas Fisher just ordered one from me, and I just sent it off to him. And if you're interested, it's only $10, so plus shipping and handling. So if you want one, just let me know. Okay. But today in Michigan, it's almost 70. It probably is 70 in a lot of areas. In fact, I got to believe it is 70. Last time I checked, it was 68. So I'll say it's 70. Unfortunately, most of the schools are on spring break right now, so I don't think there's any softball scheduled anywhere. There could be, so you might want to check to see if there's a high school playing somewhere, perhaps a college. I don't think they're on spring break now, so check out to see if a local college is playing softball. I'm sure one of them might be, okay? And take it in. Beautiful day. Become a fan. Speaking of a fan, let's talk about that a little bit, okay? If you're a fan of softball and you're sitting behind the backstop, we'll say, or maybe in the bleachers somewhere, but if you're behind the backstop, of course you got a great view, and be kind, you know, have good sportsmanship. The umpire out there is doing the best he can. And perhaps it's a first time umpire, maybe his first year or her first year. Be kind. There's no need to be abusive and no need to constantly yell out bad things. Be nice. And you know what? It's a good time to interact with the umpire, especially in high school. Won't work with college so much, but if you happen to see a play and you were kind of wondering, boy, I wonder what that was all about. And maybe between innings, umpire is back there by the backstop. Be nice. Say, hey, what happened there? I just want to know. Just for my own good, I would like to know, and perhaps you can tell me a little bit. So, if you're nice to an umpire, they'll be nice back. It doesn't hurt. Maybe if it got a water and maybe they're out of water, offer a water. So those kind of things are always nice. So it's good to learn about the game. Obviously, you don't know as much as you think you know, unless you're an older umpire like myself, and I'll be taking some games in soon, and I'll be sitting behind the backstop probably. But interact. It doesn't hurt, okay? But just enjoy the game. Enjoy the game, no matter who you're there for. Somebody makes a great play. If it's the other team, applaud it. Those kind of plays deserve applause. Okay, so just the main thing is, especially on a day like today, if you're out there and taking in a game, enjoy it. Okay, it's springtime finally. Finally, it's here. So just wanted to pass that on to you. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to be umpiring, not umpiring, if you're going to be sitting and watching a lot of games, time to buy yourself a nice, comfortable chair. I know I bought one a couple years ago. It rocks. It was a little pricey. It was $70, but you know what? It rocks. It's comfortable. It's got a cup holder. It's got a little side table that I can bring up. And the main thing is, if I'm going to go to games, I want to be comfortable. So, nice rocking chair. Okay? It's one of those folding type ones I can fold it up and carry it. But it rocks. So maybe you can find one of those. Now's the time to start looking. Okay, enough of that. I've also got a toll-free number. It's 833 Dugout. 837 Dugout. So anytime you want to call, interact a little bit, chat, give me a call, okay? I don't mind at all. That's what I'm here for. Okay, let me bring one more thing out here if I can. I also wrote a book. It's called Time and Place. But it's reversed, but it's Time and Place. I sold quite a few already. It's the biography of Bill Humphrey. He was a great umpire from Midland. He was also the president of Amateur Softball Association in the nation, and he wrote a lot of rules changes for the rule book, and he really wrote mechanics for the umpire. That's what he was really known for, is how he established mechanics for the umpire. And also, he was the president or the commissioner of Michigan softball, and at one time, and he was there for a long time. Umpire in chief, you name it, he'd done it. Okay, but there's also in this book is a 2-part book. The first part is the history of softball. You will really enjoy reading about the history of softball because I did a lot of research, and there's some things in here you probably have never read about, but it's very interesting from the beginning of the game all the way to now. So, very interesting book. If you're interested, you can find it on Barnes and Noble, and you can also find it on Amazon. It's on both places for sale. Okay, it's $20. If you want one from me, autographed, I'll have Bill autograph it too, and I'll send it off to you with just shipping handling of $5. So for $25, you can get this book. All right, you'll enjoy it, believe me. Okay, enough for the salesmanship, right? We're here for other things too. All right, now we're going to talk Federation rules again today. I've got my latest rule book, got that in the mail. I've got the Federation rule book, and it's time for umpires to get their nose in that book. And today we're going to talk about interference. Last week we talked about obstruction. Today we're going to talk about interference, and we're going to show some videos also, okay? But let me get the right page here. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Interference is an illegal act by the offense, okay? It's an illegal act by the offense that causes interference. Only the offense can do this, all right? And here's what the rule book says. Interference is an act, physical or verbal, by a member of the team at bat who illegally impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder, okay? It's one who impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder. Or what a runner creates malicious contact with any fielder with or without the ball. So if you have malicious contact, that's also interference. In or out of the baseline, doesn't matter. We're going to have one of those today. And also, other types of interference involves equipment, an umpire, or a spectator. In the case of an umpire, it's a delayed dead ball, and if an out doesn't happen, then you put the runners back. But that's just another thing we won't talk about today, okay, because it's rare. All right? But again, other types of interference involves equipment, an umpire, or a spectator. All right? Spectator reaches over, touches a live ball. We now have an act of interference by a spectator, and we call a dead ball, and we rule accordingly. All right? That's usually a ground rule double. Okay? As far as equipment on the field that belongs to the offense is an act of interference. So if it hits a glove laying on the field, that's bad news. Okay? If it hits a bucket that's coach sits on and it's on the field, that's not good either. All right? Those are all bad things for the offense. They're all acts of interference. So remember that. Clean your equipment up. Make sure it's not out there. All right. We talked about that. So let's say, for instance, a runner, batter runner, hits the ball, and there's a runner on second. We're going to show this video pretty soon, but there's a runner on second, hits the ball, and the runner collides with the shortstop attempting to make a play. That is interference, okay? That's interference. That's a dead ball, okay? Dead ball. Now, who's out? Some umpires think the batter is out. No, the runner is out, okay? The person who creates the act of interference is the one who is out. So in this case, the runner at second base is out. And now what do we do with the batter? Oh, well, the batter belongs on first base now. You can't have a double jeopardy here, so to speak. So you have one out, and we put the batter at first base. Now, there are times when you can get two outs, but we'll talk about that later. All right, but just wanted to show you and talk about a simple act of interference. All right. Now, give me some time here to bring up some plays. And this will be reversed, unfortunately, so bear with me. All right. Okay. Here's a simple one. All right. Here's a simple one. Now watch this play. Oops, let's play it again, okay? Did you see that? Okay. She tried to avoid that ball, that runner did, but she made contact, right? With her foot and the glove. Okay. That's a fairly simple act of interference. In that case, we have the dead ball and we have putting the batter runner on first base. Okay. Just wanted to let you know about that simple one. Good one to show. All right, here we go. Here's one we're going to show here. This is a training video. Okay, this is going to have some talk. Excuse me. I'm going to do this first. We're going to have what is called a double play. All right. Now it's reversed, unfortunately. All right. It's reversed. And because it was reversed, we're going to show it again. Okay. Show it again. Now it's hard to see that. But what happened was, as the runner was sliding into second base, the left arm goes up. The left arm goes up and makes contact with the fielder trying to throw the ball. The umpire saw this. He calls an out, and now the runner at first is out. Why is this? Okay, we'll stop it there. Why? How can that happen? All right, because we only got one out. Well, what happened was because that runner was already called out at second base. Now, by rule, the runner closest to home now is out. All right? When we have a retired runner who causes interference, the runner now closest to home is out. In this case, there was nobody else on base. So he pointed to first base, the umpire did, and he called that batter runner also out. Now, let's say the batter runner is almost crossing home first base, okay, when this happens. And by the time you look at the play, obviously the batter runner is now past first base. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The runner at first base is out. because the fielder was prohibited from making a throw to first base, okay? By rule, like the book says, prohibits, hinders, or verbally interferes with the fielder, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about verbal interference because I don't have a video on that. But let's say there's a throw, there's a ground ball to the shortstop, and the runner at second base, as she's running past the shortstop, she yells right at her, like, "Hey," or "Who," or whatever. Just yells real loud as she's running by. That is verbal interference. Okay, that is a dead ball. That runner is out, and all runners return to the previous base touched. Okay, that's how the rule works. When you have a dead ball, an interference, that person is out, and any runners that are on base are now returned to the last base touched. Okay, prior to the interference. That's how the rule reads. Okay, again, we've seen this video. Now we're going to go to another video, okay? We're going to go to some training videos here, and I think there'll be voice on this. I'm hoping there is. And maybe there isn't. I will stop this. It doesn't look like there is. Okay.
The batter runner will make their way to first base, and in doing so,
Oops. Well, I had it. Now I lost it. Sorry. Not very technical here. Okay, here we go.
in advancing to first base, the batter runner interferes with the fielder's opportunity to make the play on the fly ball. This should be an immediate dead ball. The umpire should extend both hands over their head and verbalize dead ball and call the batter runner out. There's a second element to this play.
Yes.
In addition to the interference, the batter runner commits an act of malicious contact by forcibly initiating contact with the fielder and extending her arms. This player should be ejected.
Did you see that? That was
play.
obvious malicious contact. That was really unnecessary. So that player will probably be ejected. All right?
The concept of two fielders trying to field a batted ball.
Okay.
Now, we should go to the rule book to look at this explanation. If two fielders try to field a batted ball and the base runner contacts one or both, the official shall determine which one is more likely to field the ball, and only that fielder is entitled to protection. The effect, the ball is dead, the batter runner is awarded first base unless she is the player guilty of interference, and the offending runner is out. In this play, we are going to see the batter hit a ground ball to the shortstop/third baseman. In this concept, the field official shall determine which fielder has the best opportunity to make the play on the ball, and only that fielder of the two fielders will be entitled to protection. Let's watch the play. Now, in this play, if the field official had determined that the third baseman had the best opportunity to make the play, and therefore entitled her to protection, we should have a dead ball. The umpire should raise both hands above their head and verbalize dead ball and call the runner out. Conversely, if the field official determined the shortstop had the best opportunity to make the play on the batted ball, therefore was the only fielder entitled to protection, this ball should remain live, and the third baseman would therefore be guilty of obstruction. The next form of interference we're going to look at is batter interference.
Did you hear about that? No. Okay. And that was what he was talking about was there could have been obstruction on that, depending on which fielder he determined had the right to the ball. Okay, that's why he was talking about that. All right. Now let's talk about the next one here.
This ball should remain live, and the third baseman would therefore be guilty of obstruction.
All right, we're not going to talk about this play
anymore. The next form of
anymore.
interference we're going to look at is batter interference. Perfect Game Softball Official Rulebook, Section 2 of batter interference states the batter shall not hinder the catcher or any other fielder from catching or throwing the ball by moving out of the batter's box or intentionally moving to hinder a player while standing within the batter's box. This form of interference will result in a delayed dead ball, and the defensive team shall have a choice of either the result of the play or the batter is out, and each base runner must return to the last base that an official's judgment was legally contacted at the time of interference. Perfect game officials should note two big aspects of this rule. First, in the past, this was going to be an immediate dead ball. This is no longer the case. Batter interference will result in a delayed dead ball, giving the defensive team the opportunity and the choice of the play. Now, in this rule, we should also note with Section 2, the batter shall not hinder the catcher or any other fielder from catching or throwing the ball by moving out of the batter's box or intentionally moving to hinder a player. If we're going to rule batter interference under this rule, it must fall under by moving out of the batter's box, or we must rule intent. Now, clarification. If the catcher or her throw to a base hits the batter or her bat while the batter is in the batter's box, the ball is live and there's no interference unless there is intent. The batter's box is not a sanctuary for the batter when we have a play being made at the plate. Let's look at an example. In this video example, we're going to see the plate official rule batter interference due to the batter moving out of the box and therefore hindering the catcher's ability to throw third base. Let's watch the video. Let's watch one more time. The plate official here does a great job of making an immediate call and selling her call. Being said, conversely, if the batter had remained stationary in the box when this throw occurred, we would not have batter interference. The ball would remain live.
Okay.
The important difference in this video is that this ball, instead of being called a dead ball, as the umpire does in the video, is now a delayed dead ball.
That's a new rule. Okay.
In this video is interference by a retired.
I haven't even looked at this myself, but there must be a new rule. Make yourself aware of this new rule if you're an umpire. Okay.
Player who no longer has status, a retired member of
okay.
Player who has scored, may not interfere with a defensive player making a play on an active runner.
Okay. So that was a new rule, which I wasn't even aware of. So that is now a delayed dead ball. Okay. So they don't want to stop the fielders from being able to get an out somewhere else. All right. Okay. Here we go with another one. This is a strange play, but I want you to see it. And it's called, this call has it. Somebody wrote and said, this call has us confused. So let's watch it and see what is the confusion. That's the coach, by the way, signaling safe, not the umpire. All right. Want to watch that again? Let's watch that again. All right. What do you got? You got safe or out. Okay? You have safe or out. Now, if you noticed, the ball's on the ground. Okay? But now the player puts her hand on the ball. All right? However, she may have her hand on the ball, but the ball is trapped on the ground. The ball is not off the ground. It's considered a trap. That is not an out. All right? That is not an out. That's a trap. So that ball is not in possession legally for the fielder. So now we could have obstruction, could we not? Because now the player's leg is in front of the base as the player is trying to slide in there and get safe. This was actually a play at third base, but it was reversed. But we're going to play that again. And you pay attention to everything that happened, all right? Here we go. There's the ball, comes in, and it's on the ground. She puts her hand on the ball, and now the player is trying to slide in. She is no longer in possession of this ball with her leg blocking third base. That is an act of obstruction. And that's the only reason why I'm playing this, because somebody on here didn't know what we had, all right? In this case, we're not talking about interference. We are actually talking about obstruction. But it's a strange play because she has her hand on the ball, okay, firmly on the ball, but the ball is on the ground. So she's not in possession of the ball. It's a trap, all right? Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Strange play. And I think we have one more, yes. It's a baseball. Well, wait a minute. It says baseball, but it's not, all right? Here we go. Let's see what this one is. Did you happen to see what happened here? Here we go again. What's unfortunate about this play is that no umpire made the call on the field. The base umpire had to clean this mess up. All right? The base umpire had to clean this mess up. All right? Now we're going to play this again with some voice. I want you to listen. Unfortunately, what they're saying here in the wording is they ruled wrong, okay? They ruled that, yes, there was interference. Yes, out there in the field. However, they actually scored the run. That shouldn't have happened, all right? Now, I'm going to see if I can bring that voice up. Don't know why it's not playing, but let's do it. Let's do it this way.
Reaches out, in play, to short, to first.
Is this interference by the runner from second? Is it obstruction by the fielder because they got in the way of the runner? Or is this nothing? Who has the right to the base path on this play?
He's trying to get to the ball. So it could be obstruction on the runner here. She almost collided with Barcolo.
It's not obstruction on the
side
run.
of the Seattle metro area is your champs. So interference, as we're getting word now, interference is not reviewable, so the run scores.
He said, so the run scores. Now, not sure if the umpire scored the run or if he made the mistake, but you heard that. That is no way a run can score there. No way a run could score. If they called interference, which they did, the plate umpire called interference properly, and that runner on third has to go back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you those videos, and there's a few mistakes there. Okay, now I don't know. Again, I don't know if that umpire made a mistake and scored the run, or if that was just the announcer thinking that the run scored. But obviously, there was going to be an argument there, and for some reason they had to get together or figure it out. And that's an obvious call out there in the field. Should be an obvious call. And it's not obstruction on the runner, of course. It's got to be interference because it's on the offense. So I wanted to bring those plays into your attention because the season has started. And if you're a fan, that gets you aware of what interference is, okay? All the different aspects of what you could have interference. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I'm sorry about the few problems that I had. I'm working on this podcast yet. I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier to view and see if I can reverse the camera and so on and so forth. But just wanted to explain, we've explained obstruction last week, and now we're explaining interference this week. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I got another podcast coming up on Thursday. It'll probably be around 4 o'clock. And not going to say what it is yet, but hold tight. And it'll be of interest, I'm sure. Okay? So you have a great day. Think spring. And boy, it's nice outside. Get out there and enjoy it. All right? Bye.